When it comes to the King of Stealth, the magic of Nightblade comes to mind. In today's discussion, I wanted to talk about why Cloak doesn't need a nerf, but actually an entire rework. The primary problem that I have with Cloak is not Nightblade's ability to engage from stealth. In fact, all characters can engage from stealth via crouch. Nightblades, of course, can do it a little bit better through Cloak. The primary problem with Cloak is the amount of damage mitigation that you get. It is by far the largest damage mitigation in the entire game, primarily because the moment you hit Cloak, all single target abilities automatically miss. But not only do all single target abilities miss, in fact, all the dots, you could have one, you could have 100. The moment you hit Cloak, all of those dots miss. So all that damage that you normally would take, you mitigate through Cloak. Especially a dot that's a fast acting dot, like a 6-second or an 8-second, you mitigate roughly 50% of that damage through Cloak, because Cloak lasts 3 seconds. And if it's like a DK dot that lasts around 11 seconds, 2 cloaks will mitigate almost the entire dot. Not just that one dot, but all dots for that matter, along with all single target abilities. The only thing that can pull you out of Cloak is, of course, an area of effect ability. The other issue with Cloak is that, as you're watching these clips here, I specifically played this build, one without a shield. This is a light armor build, dual wield, melee, magic Nightblade. I'm also playing without a heal. The only ability that heals me is Swallow Soul, as well as I forget the other ability that does the magic of return on a light attack, siphon ability. Between that and my HP regen and then whatever heals I get from my team, it's the only heal that I have on my bar. And so what you'll primarily see, I'm putting up 2 clips from a couple of BGs that I did, and I just want you to watch, you pay attention. This is why I have all the damage numbers up. You'll be able to see the missed damage. It should be in either on the left or right. I believe, like, you'll see my heals are on my left. The damage that I'm doing is on my right. So if anything that I heal, or if I gain any sort of regen, my regen is on my left. My Magicka stamina regen will show up. You'll see my ulti gen right there from transfer. I've got a little bit of lag in game. But as you watch this clip, pay attention to when I cloak, and you'll see a series of misses that take place on the side of my bar. It'll be either the left or right, I forget. And think about how much damage I would be taking. Keep in mind, I'm running this build, I have no heal, I have no damage shield, I'm wearing light armor, I have 0 impen, 0. And unbuffed, I'm sitting at 9,400 physical damage reduction, like 15k spell resist. And you'll see miss, all those misses on the side of my bar. The only reason I end up dying here is because as I'm entering into combat, I was already low stealth and popped my pot. And then, of course, I have 4 people spamming AoE abilities. I don't have a heal or a shield. That's why I go down right here. And that's it's primarily my fault when I go down. Again, 10k Killer's Blade. I have like 14k max physical resistance, and I have no impen and no heal. I'm a Nord on this build primarily because I created this build. There were so many wardens with the ice spam, and so that basically nullifies the chill passive that you get, which is what causes the root. And so that, and I went for the HP regen. That's why I made this build. Never released this build, but I was actually wanted to show how strong it is from a magic perspective. And I'm actually going to link another clip where you'll see I'm actually trading attacks with a Stam Nightblade, and he is literally on par with my cloaks. So I know people think that, you know, as a Magicka Nightblade, you'll be able to utilize Cloak better. In my opinion, Stamina Nightblade utilizes even better because they're able to utilize all of their Magicka primarily just for Cloak, where I have to use my Cloak for both. I have to use my Magicka for both Cloak as well as damage, and then if I had Shield for shield, my buffs, all my buffs that I'm running. Whereas the Stamina Nightblade doesn't, utilizes all of its Magicka primarily for Cloak. Between that, and then you see a lot of Nightblades have the ability to roll dodge. I can literally CC break and roll dodge once, and I'm out of Stam. The only thing I have to rely on, particularly as a Magicka Nightblade, would be shield. But just to show how strong cloak is, I was releasing these two clips minus any shield and minus any heal outside of Swallow Soul and whatever I get from Siphon, and then my pot that's on like a 40 something second CD. You can see there cloak missed Scoria. Scoria would have hit me for like 4 or 5k right there. This guy right here was actually pulling me out of cloak because he was spamming that AoE bowl ability that roots and slows you. It's the only reason I got pulled out, because that guy had him in a previous match and he was just literally spamming that shit every time that's all he is. That's all he does. He just cloaks and spams that. In caps spams that again, and so that's why I got pulled out there. So people might say, well, you know, that's the downfall of cloak. But you'll see right there, I completely avoid this encounter, and I just want you to think about what character, what class would be able to not play with some sort of mitigation. I only have cloak. I have no shield. Every other Magicka build either plays with a huge damage shield like a Sork or a Warden. Warden has a huge shield plus, as well as ridiculous heals. Magplar has their heals, typically don't rely on his shield, but they have ridiculous heals and heals over time. And you'll often see a lot of Nightblades run with a Resto backbar for the Resto ult and for the shield, or they're using Harness. And in this build, I'm not using any of that. And this isn't to showcase a new build or something. It's actually to showcase how broken Cloak is, because Cloak is by far the best mitigation that you can have in this game. And that's why you see a lot of Nightblades don't progress. A lot of people who go to Nightblade primarily play Stamina Nightblade and not Magicka Nightblade, because Magicka Nightblade has to use its resource pool. You see, miss Scoria, that literally would have been a 4 to 5k hit. I miss it via Cloak. I'm able to disengage. Unfortunately, you'll see even through AoEs are pretty much easily dodged with a dodge roll into a Cloak. And you see I come in for the burst here. I don't have a heal. The only thing I have is just whatever I have from my burst abilities, and then I pop a pot there. I dodge roll Cloak, and you'll see miss from the Merciless charge. That's from the I forget what special weapon is. It's the 2H that has a dot when you gap close. I forget. I think that's from Maelstrom. But you'll see there, I literally, all of his Noxious missed, all of his the dot from the weapon missed, and that's a lot of mitigation that I'm getting right there. Keep in mind, I have no impen, and I have my base is like 9.4k physical resistance. You'll see the miss from the trap, and that's a lot of damage because I have no mitigation. Here I end up getting killed because I was trying to bar swap Cloak, and then my game ended up double bar swapping and I died. It wasn't because of the player, it was simply because I was trying to bar swap. I ended up double bar swapping and dying. Of course, if I had a shield, I probably would have lived, but again, this is to showcase how strong a no shield, no heal build can put out some pretty good damage. I put out like 650k damage, and mind you, this is my second time. I think this is my first or my second time playing Magicka Nightblade. I've never played Magicka Nightblade before. This is my first time playing a Magblade. I have another clip that I'll show in this video. It's going to be long if you're going to watch the video for the full length. It'll probably be like 40 minutes. My next one I go 21-0, and then I think I have another one where I go like 9-3 with like almost 700k damage. It's primarily because there's a lot of Nightblades in that particular BG that were very hard to kill, and of course there are Stamblades, not Magblades. It's easier to kill a Magblade than it is a Stamblade because they rely so much on roll dodge, as you can see right here. And so he goes right into Cloak, everything misses. I drop an AoE that pulls him out, he recloaks, tries to get back in, but he's low, able to secure the kill. But of course the dodge, impale, dodge, bash, he ends up dying because of the dot that I had on the ground. And that's my primary problem that I have with Cloak. I typically don't play Nightblade, and this is primarily the reason because I feel that they're very overpowered in terms of their ability to mitigate damage. I don't care about their burst. I don't have a problem with Nightblade burst. That's the point of it being an assassin class. My problem is with the ability to mitigate the amount of damage that they can while utilizing light or medium armor. A lot of people say, oh, Nightblade is squishy, and that's bullshit. It's primarily because of was lagging in game here. It's primarily because they build that way, because they utilize medium and light armor, and then once they get pulled out of cloak, they're very squishy. They have to rely on either dodge roll, shields, and heals. And you'll see here, I don't have any of those to rely on. All I have is literally one CC break. I might have a dodge roll after that, and all I have is cloak, swallow soul, and whatever heals, I stay with my team. And you'll see, and that's primarily the issue that I have, and that's why I talk about the way that I would change cloak would be to make it so that it's a toggle, so that you're able to remain in cloak as long as you're not in combat. You gain increased mobility, and you're able, of course, to initiate from stealth via cloak. Thanks for watching. Feel free to like, comment, and subscribe.